Hey everyone, welcome back to Barter Hordes. My name is Robert. It's Tuesday and I'm doing a tag. If you followed my channel for a while, you'll know I haven't done tags in a long time. But I saw this one recently on Kazin's channel, Always Doing, and it just seemed really interesting. And she kind of indirectly tagged me in a comment on the video. And so I thought I'd give it a try because this one sounded kind of fun. It's officially called the Would You Read It Challenge tag, and it was originated by Bear at Et2Brody, and I've linked both the original tag and Kazin's tag video in the description box below. And essentially, without telling you what books are involved, I'm going to read you the opening passage of 10 novels, and the challenge for you is to see if you recognize or can guess what any of them are. Some of these, I will admit, are very well-known books. Some of these are a little bit more obscure. But I put another twist on it in that all 10 of them are first-person narrators because I love a good first-person narrator. So I'm going to read you the individual ones, and then at the end, I'll go back through and tell you which one was which book. I'm not going to put the books in the description box because I don't want you to peek. So if you want to do this without Googling, see how many of these you actually get right, and drop that number in the comments. I'll be interested to know if anybody does fairly well on this. I would not have done fairly well on this, so I'm not expecting anybody else to either. Okay, the first one. And don't forget, my father would say, as if he expected me at any moment to up and leave to seek my fortune in the wide world. Whatever you learn about people, however bad they turn out, each one of them has a heart, and each one of them was once a tiny baby sucking his mother's milk. So that's novel number 1. And these are not in any particular order. They're not in any chronological order. They're just the order I kind of thought of them. Number 2, I was born in the city of Bombay once upon a time. No, that won't do. There's no getting away from the date. I was born in Dr. Narlikar's nursing home on August 15th, 1947. And the time? The time matters too. Well then, at night. No, it's important to be more on the stroke of midnight, as a matter of fact. Number 3, while I was still in Amsterdam, I dreamed about my mother for the first time in years. I'd been shut up in my hotel for more than a week, afraid to telephone anybody or go out. And my heart scrambled and floundered at even the most innocent noises. Elevator bell, rattle of the minibar cart, even church clocks tolling the hour, De Westertoren, Kreitberg, a dark edge to the clangor, an inwrought fairy tale sense of doom. Number 4, the gunman is useless. I know it. He knows it. The whole bank knows it. Even my best mate Marvin knows it, and he's more useless than the gunman. The worst part about the whole thing is that Marv's car is standing outside in a 15-minute parking zone. We're all face down on the floor, and the car's only got a few minutes left on it. I wish this bloke could hurry up, I mention. I know, Marv whispers back. This is outrageous. His voice rises from the depths of the floor. I'll be getting a fine because of this useless bastard. I can't afford another fine, Ed. Number 5. My name is Kathy H. I'm 31 years old, and I've been a carer now for over 11 years. That sounds long enough, I know, but actually they want me to go on for another 8 months, until the end of this year. That'll make it almost exactly 12 years. Now, I know my being a carer so long isn't necessarily because they think I'm fantastic at what I do. There are some really good carers who've been told to stop after just 2 or 3 years. And I can think of one carer at least who went on for all of 14 years, despite being a complete waste of space. So I'm not trying to boast, but then I do know for a fact they've been pleased with my work, and by and large, I have too. Number 6. I have just returned from a visit to my landlord, the solitary neighbor that I shall be troubled with. This is certainly a beautiful country. In all England, I do not believe that I could have fixed on a situation so completely removed from the stir of society. A perfect misanthrope's heaven. Number 7. If you really want to hear about it, the first thing you'll probably want to know is where I was born and what my lousy childhood was like and how my parents were occupied all before they had me and all that David Copperfield kind of crap. But I don't feel like going into it if you want to know the truth. Number 8. It was a queer, sultry summer, the summer they electrocuted the Rosenbergs, and I didn't know what I was doing in New York. I'm stupid about executions. The idea of being electrocuted makes me sick, and that's all there was to read about in the papers. Goggle-eyed headlines staring up at me on every street corner and at the fusty, peanut-smelling mouth of every subway. Number 9. When people ask me what I do, taxi drivers, dental hygienists, I tell them I work in an office. In almost 9 years, no one's ever asked what kind of office or what sort of job I do there. I can't decide whether that's because I fit perfectly with their idea of what an office worker looks like, or whether people hear the phrase work in an office and automatically fill in the blanks themselves. Lady doing photocopying, man tapping at a keyboard. And number 10. I'm pretty much fucked. That's my considered opinion. Fucked. 6 days into what should be the greatest 2 months of my life, and it's turned into a nightmare. I don't even know who will read this. I guess someone will find it eventually, maybe 100 years from now. Okay, write down your picks. Let's see how you did. The first one was from one of my absolute favorite novels that very few people have probably read, and it's called Waterland by Graham Swift, and it's from the 1980s. The second one is another 1980s novel that is among my absolute favorites. These two were the ones that prompted me to do this tag this way in the first place, and that is Midnight's Children by Salman Rushdie. The third one is more recent and was quite famous on and off BookTube, and that is The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. The fourth one crosses the lines between young adult and adult fiction, and it's by the Australian novelist Markus Zusak, and it's I Am the Messenger. The fifth one is another British novel by Kazuo Ishiguro, Never Let Me Go. The sixth one is a classic novel by Emily Bronte, and that's Wuthering Heights. The seventh one is a famous American novel, The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. The eighth one is another famous American novel, and that's The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. The ninth and 10th ones are both very recent books, the last couple of years. The ninth one was Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. And the 10th one is The Martian by Andy Weir. Okay, how did you do? How many of these did you get right? How many of these sound interesting to you if you've never read them? Would you be interested in reading them? Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll be back with another video sometime soon. Bye, everybody.